a break. But we're so glad now we got hashtag. See, this is the thing that you don't get at most conventions. We snuggle. Hashtag snuggle on stage. But we're so glad to have you guys here. You guys having a good time this weekend?
Having a great time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, here, you take them.
So I'm here, you're having a little
You're higher up on the call sheet.
You're higher up.
Do we have another one of these?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you mine when I shut up.
Oh,
But I hear you're doing a pizza party.
Yeah. Pizza.
Who likes pizza?
I'm gonna deliver it personally, so hopefully I'll see like a few of you there.
Are you guys having a good time? All right.
How many times have you guys said woo this weekend?
Well, we are glad that you guys are here, and we have some lovely ladies and gentlemen out in the audience who have some questions for you guys. So I'm going to pass my mic off to you and give them one more big woo. Let's do it. Give them a
Awesome.
How about him?
Yeah.
I have your first question right here in the front.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Juanita. I've talked to you a million times
Hi.
already. My question is, what is your favorite episode of One Tree Hill, and do you guys watch it now at all?
I think I answered this question last time, or last convention, which a lot of you probably weren't at, but I just remember the episode where we went and we got waxed. And we got in trouble because it was like the end of a long day, probably the end of a week, and could not stop laughing. And just kept laughing and messing up every single take, and like literally they had to pull me aside and be like, stop laughing. I'm like, I can't stop laughing. So that was really fun. And then like the Dare Night episode was fun.
Yeah.
Because we got to get out and do a lot of stuff, and that's still when we were all kind of getting to know each other. So.
I remember that was that Dare Night episode, the Girl Scout?
Oh, the Girl Scout.
Yeah. So that was what was it? Was that the first season?
Yeah, that was first season.
And
Season 2!
Exactly, second season. Coach was in it, so it was second season. Yeah, right.
And yeah, I was still pretty young. I think I was only like 19 or something, and I was just like didn't know how I felt about being dressed as a Girl Scout. And
that was totally cool.
And Brett was like that. And I think somebody along must have known that they just needed to get me in the wardrobe trailer with Brett, and we would just start having a great time, just trying on the outfits and stuff. And so for the run of the show, there's all these really questionable Polaroids of Brett and I just like doing really sexy poses and really outfits. And those things stayed on the wall of the wardrobe trailer. I should tell this story. Because somebody's gonna like help
They
them out
exist
there.
somewhere.
And I remember just being like, at the time just thinking, what am I doing? But now I look back on it and it's hilarious.
Every time I have a little scrapbook at home that I actually have like pictures from. And the time where I was like in the Speedo, and I have pictures backstage with like Tamara, like all these like poses that should never ever be out in the world. But every time they put me in something, I did.
Yeah, probably shouldn't even take those pictures.
No.
Second question.
Hi, my name is Andrea. My question is for James. I heard that you originally intended on auditioning for Lucas's role, but Chad already got the role, so you had to audition for Nathan. So I was wondering, do you wish you would have got Lucas's role, or are you happy with Nathan's role?
I remember reading through Lucas's role and thinking like, it just being, I was 17, so I remember feeling more comfortable in that audition than I had in a really long time. Like for some reason it just, and this is Mark Schwann's writing as well, for some reason the words have always just sort of like floated around on its own, and I felt like, I felt pretty right for it, for sure. But then, Chad got the role, was even more right for it. And then, the role of Nathan was open as well, and that was, I don't know, I guess I hadn't considered how much fun it would be to play the villain because I was so young and I hadn't done it yet. And that whole first season, I wouldn't trade that whole first season of playing the villain for anything because that was so much fun. And then, the arc that Nathan had, going from that guy to what he eventually became is something that, I wouldn't trade that for anything either. punctuate everything with a joke, so that there's like a laugh instead of an awkward pause and then the clapping. But we'll work on it. It's still early in the Q&A.
And I'll have like a really like I'll be in character right now with Tim, but it's like such a like, oh my God, he's so great. But it was like such a testament to James though, like for real, because in real life he's like the nicest guy on set every single day you're on set. And so for him to play that against, I'm just saying, it was always like, I was really impressed with his work, because to be that guy was not who James was.
You have no idea how much I had to pay Brett.
You can make it a personal chef.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a question to your back, Ryan. Hi guys, Miranda from Minnesota.
Hi. It's like you're asking a question from Minnesota right now.
My question is for James. What was it like coming into the show being baby James? Like the youngest?
It felt like I was the youngest. Everybody was really, everybody was really cool to me, and I feel like, in retrospect, at the time I didn't really know what was going on, but in retrospect, everybody was really looking out for me. I see little things that people did here and there, to make sure that I, stayed the course and was on the right path, and didn't turn into, a cautionary tale, if you will. So it was great, I felt taken care of, and then at the same time, I felt like an equal as well. I didn't really feel looked down upon or anything. So it was just, it was a cool experience, man. It's like, it was like being a freshman in college, except for way better. So yeah.
It helped that all of us were way more immature too, so.
Your next question is going back to you guys in the left. Okay. This is for James and Brett. I'm Brittany from Chicago. Woo. My question for both of you, no offense to March 1, but if you were to change anything about either of your characters, what would you change?
The last 6 seasons?
Is anybody live streaming this to March long? I would love that. No, I would say there's nothing about the character itself that I would have changed. I mean, selfishly at the time, I would have loved to play Nathan, the NBA player, for a little bit longer. But that was like, again, purely selfishly, just because that's like kind of a dream, like an NFL quarterback or an NBA player or something. But what ended up happening to Nathan was actually so much better. The arc that he went on after that, after he lost his career, was so much closer to the heart of the show, and more, sort of rewarding story. So, I'd say that's my answer. I would change it, and I wouldn't.
Yeah, I honestly just always, I just wanted to explore Tim a little more. He was very much on the surface and like, oh, this episode needs a joke, so let's just throw him in there. But I definitely, there wasn't a lot of, there wasn't many dimensions to Tim that I would have really liked to explore. Maybe a girlfriend would have been cool. I know I always had the secret crush, but it was never gonna, pan out. So maybe a girl.
Hi, I'm Karen from Des Plaines, and my question is for both of you guys. Yesterday, Chad was talking a little bit about when the three of you guys lived together. Do you have any good stories about the shenanigans?
Oh, do we?
You go first.
Yeah. No, it was great. I think the best part about the house was that I don't. No, look, I don't believe in ghosts, but after that house, I do not believe in ghosts. They enjoyed having some fun with me, messing around, playing tricks on me, calling me from downstairs, James, get down here. Oh yeah, right, obviously right as we got home. and there'd be like the chairs like stacked on top of like the kitchen counter or something, some like really strange angle.
I forgot about that.
See this? So it's a room. I'm like, guys, I'm from California. I don't buy this shit. At the same time, you're making me feel really uncomfortable. But I think the best part about that house was just the house itself. It was so old and musty.
So I was tasked with finding the house. Because I lived in North Carolina, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're like go around and find a house." And I, just got out of college. Thank you. Such a good friend. And I hadn't, it was a responsibility that obviously I was not ready for. And I might have chosen the worst house in history. I think it had mold. I think that's...
Well, yeah, no, that's what I remember I mean, for me, it was like, hey, we're by the beach, and sure, it's a little old, but like, I was 18, so I could have slept on a sleeping bag, and I actually think the first house I had bought, I did sleep in a sleeping bag for about a year. But I remember my mom coming to visit and her coming to the house and sort of like looking around like, okay, and then going upstairs to my room and there was an air vent and there was literally black mold growing outside the air vent. And my mom was like, James, can I just talk to you? And so that
One Tree Hill
conversation
almost didn't happen because I almost killed all the house.
That led to us very quickly leaving that house and changing our living arrangements. So yeah, here's a couple little anecdotes for you.
Okay, we've got a question to your back, right?
Hi, my name is Liz. I'm from Florida, and my question is actually for James. I went to
Just wait, sorry. Just moment to myself.
I'll ask Preston questions.
I went to your Waffle Street premiere in Wilmington about it. It was almost a year ago, and I know since One Tree Hill you've been branching off into like independent films and everything like that. I was just wondering what's next. Like, what are you working on right now?
So I just worked on. I directed 2 episodes of The Royals, which is yeah. So if anybody watches the show, which I appreciate, it's fantastic and it has every bit the heart and soul, that One Tree Hill did. And there you go. Yeah, I did not expect to hear that from a male voice. But I appreciate it and I respect it. No, the show really does have something for everybody. And so the season that's coming out now, I think it premieres December 4th or something. I directed episodes 2 and 5 of that season, so that'll be coming out soon. And then I've got a film coming out, sometime next year. We don't know yet, called Small Town Crime, which is from the same directors as Waffle Street. Those are just a couple things. Thank you for asking.
Your next question is Debbie.
Hi, I'm Katie. And I'm Callie. We're from Chicago. Our question's for the both of you. We were just wondering, what's your favorite quote or line from the show?
Just answer the question, Tim. That whole running joke where it was like, whatever, just say whatever, Tim.
Yeah.
That was always my favorite, because it would leak into like every episode, and then it might not make it, but that was all. They were trying to get one of those in, and we had a really funny writing room.
Yeah.
I always used to love visiting the writing room, because they were just a good group of guys, and obviously they were great writers, but it was that me personally, I didn't have any deep moments really, so that was always that.
Yeah, I think that was like the best comedic button of the show.
Yeah.
That was
I forgot, you guys probably know, but what was the one that Paul said that Dan said in like the hospital? I think there was one where he was like in the hospital or something, he said it. I don't know. Anyway, good story, Brian. Good story.
Just imagine if we're still doing these when we're like 67 and someone asks us that question, we'll be like, what show is on here? I gotta say, I mean, I know the don't say I never gave you anything. But I really do think think that, and I can't remember the line exactly. I probably should have prepared for this answer a little bit better. But when Nathan walks in and tells Haley that he made it to the NBA, that to me was like it was such a tiny little line, and it didn't, there weren't a lot of words, but the moment was like meant so much, like for the character, and by that time for me, that like I can remember like it wasn't hard to tear up for that one. I just was like, you did it. It was good.
We've got a question over here to your left again. Over.
I'm Robert from Downport, Iowa, and I was just wondering how it felt to have that father-son relationship with James.
Amazing, because when we started shooting, when he first came on the show, he was like that size, and I was mentally that size, yeah, I don't know, I just had never even considered what it would like to be a father at that point in my life, because I was still so young. But just being around him really made me sort of understand like what kind of like light a child can bring to your life, because he brought so much light to our set. Like the days that Jackson was on set, it did not feel like work. Like not for the actors, not for the crew, not for anybody. He just was like running around, making everybody laugh, and doing his thing, and really impressing everybody on camera with what he can do. And then we got to watch him grow up, and now even seeing him, I saw him at the last sort of convention that we did in Wilmington, and he's just growing up into like such an impressive young man, and that like sort of spark in him is still there, and that sense of humor is still there, and it just makes me, I had nothing to do with it, his parents did it all, but it makes me really proud of him, and he's a great kid, so it was cool to work with him.
Traumatic scenes and events, and especially when you got kidnapped. Is it hard to film?
Those were, to be honest, those were really fun, I think, because they were so different from everything that we had done on the show. There were a lot of traumatic things that happened to a lot of the characters, like Nathan being in a wheelchair that was like, I feel like the darkest stuff that I had to play. That was, I wouldn't say that was easy, but as an actor, those are the things that you sort of want to sink your teeth into, and that you find challenging, and that, that you really look for. But especially the kidnapping stuff, like that just felt like I was in an action movie. So, that was actually quite fun to play. But I'm sure Brett and I had some things together that were pretty traumatic.
Yeah,
including the Girl Scout group.
Yeah. Literally just getting into some of the outfits I had to wear was traumatic. They still affect me today. Like, I still wear them. What? No. How was I'm curious, like the school shooting episode, I remember that that was like a big deal for the cast.
That was really heavy, and that's a big that's a big testament to Colin's talent, because I remember he came in and we did the pilot with him, and he was awesome. He was great in the pilot, and then he comes back and he's just got this like powerhouse episode to do. It almost felt like like when you watch like an episode of Law and Order, and they have this like amazing guest star every time who just blows your socks off. And he really came in and did that, and turned that into like a classic episode of television, I think. But you were there for that, right?
I wasn't in them.
You were in that one? Did you feel it?
I skipped school that day, thank God. Because Tim would have died. Don't shoot him!
I think you should have got like the pizza delivery version of what you did should have been like you held everybody up.
Yeah, I would have shot everyone. I would have shot them all. The crew, the director.
All right, this is getting
sorry, just joking. No.
Yeah. So that's the answer. And so much more than
Your next questions are back here.
Hi, I'm Lily from Washington, Illinois. I was just wondering what your most memorable moment on set was.
I mean, to go for like a single moment is probably hard. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is playing basketball. Like James and I, and a few other members of the cast, but we grew up playing basketball. James was a really good high school basketball player. I got to play on the same team with a bunch of really good high school basketball players. But like that's something that honestly we used to.
Brad's a very good basketball.
But it was really fun because even the days we didn't film, we would just all get together, and the producers were really good about getting us a gym or something like that, and we would just all go play ball and just hang out. And then, you know, every now and then on Sundays we got to play basketball for 12 hours in front of a crowd, and you know, for people that grew up playing, the fact that we got paid to do that was a real blessing. And then we got to sit there and wait for Chad to hit a shot, but it was but it was really fun. It was we really, everybody bonded because at least those were the days that the whole cast was together. You know, it wasn't like Sophia filming over here and Hillary filming over here, and we actually all were together on set, and that's where we all kind of became a quote unquote family.
Yeah, I have to say I agree with you there. Like the basketball stuff. I think like the moment for me was you know, was shooting the pilot, and the last thing we shot for the pilot was the river court sequence, like the final game. And you know, it was a night shoot, so you start when the sun sets and you finish when the sun rises, and then when the sun rises, there's no more night, there's no more shooting, so you're really racing the clock. And so it was the very last night, and we were shooting all that stuff, and again, it was the same thing, like all the core cast characters were there from the pilot, and you know, we were like, you know, we were shooting all this great basketball stuff, but then at the same time, you know, the sky started to get brighter and brighter, and we were just like the whole team, like the whole crew and the whole, like all the actors, like the whole team just hustling to get it done. And then, you know, finally, you know, we call wrap, and it's like, we made it, there's like this elation that we made it, but then also this like melancholy that, oh man, what if this is the last time we all see each other or work together? Which turned out to not be true, by the way.
Spoiler.
But yeah, that was a really cool moment. And then, you know, the sun's rising as everybody's going home and stuff, and it was just, I remember, you know, it was a long time ago for me, but those were one of the few. Like,
I honestly just got chilled because I remember that night, and it was like an accomplishment. Like I know that we were. I mean, I still remember the time you called me because I didn't find out the show got picked up, and you called me, and I was at the Wrightsville Beach basketball. I don't know if you remember that. I was playing basketball. I've had 2 concussions in my life. I found out One Tree Hill was picked up when I got a concussion. I was playing, and somebody like tried to block my shot and hit, and my eye was like this big. And James calls, and I'm sitting on the bench, and I see the phone, and hello? He's like, what's up, man? The show got picked up. I'm like, it's great. It's awesome. But when we finished the pilot, there was a feeling like this is something. Like this, it felt like we had accomplished something. Never knew it was going to go 9 seasons, but no, it was an awesome feeling.
Okay, your next question is over here, to your right.
Over here.
Oh, right. That right. My bad.
Hi, my name is Sophia. This is my sister Isabel.
Hi.
So I
Hi,
asked.
Snapchat. Oh, okay, just regular video. Okay. Boring.
Okay, so I asked Chad this question yesterday, and he told me to ask you too. Do you ever think there's going to be a season like reunion of One Tree Hill, like season 10?
You know, I don't know how all that works, to be honest. Like, I know that's like it's kind of a trend right now. It's happening. There's a lot of revivals of shows and things, or at least, you know, one more season or one more episode, things like that. I get the feeling that if there was the demand for it, and it was, you know, Mark Schwalm was approached by it, you know, and however it works, then the conversation would be had. And, you know, I don't know. The thing is too, it's like it's only been 5 years since the show finished. You know, a lot of these shows have been 4 years. Okay. So you know, I think it's I don't know what the sort of like shelf life of a show is, you know, on Netflix before people start to realize that, you know, everybody wants another season. And I guess a short story is, I think it would, you know, be considered by the cast, but I think enough time has to pass, you know. So yeah, I don't know. That's good to know, and that's very flattering. And, you know, I know the cast is all really thankful for those questions.
I can see a spin-off just about Tim, though. I can see it'd be a half-hour comedy.
What would it be called?
Hey, you're all getting credits.
Probably we didn't come up with that before they did.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
The next question is straight to the back.
Hi, I'm Jenna from Chicago.
Hi.
This question's for James. I'm sorry, Brett.
It's cool. It's cool.
Nathan and Haley was such a big part of the show. James, I guess I just was wondering what it was like to work with Bethany Joy Lenz so closely for that amount of time, and just kind of talk about the journey that you guys. Just talk about the journey that you guys kind of took together through 9 years or 10 years.
Yeah, that's 9 or 10 years. All right, guys, get settled. Again, no, I'll try to keep it as concise as possible. You know, Joy's, like, as you know, an immensely talented individual, and you know, she's the type of actor. I feel like we're two, you know, different sort of types of actors. Like, she can be very improvisational, and she's very spontaneous, and she really enjoys being in the moment, which I think are great qualities for an actor to have, and great qualities that I didn't really grow up being trained to sort of value. And so working with her actually was sort of, you know, educational in a way for me, you know, because I got to sort of be surprised a lot during scenes and then go with that. So it really taught me how to be more in the moment as an actor, I think. And then in terms of, you know, I guess both of our evolutions working together, like, I don't know, it was just kind of fantastic to sort of, you know, act and coexist with somebody like we spent so much of our lives together on set. It's kind of funny to think about, like, you know, when you watch the show, it's like there's only a finite amount of time that we were on the screen, but you know, for every, you know, 15 minutes that we were on that screen, we were you know, together for hours. So you know, it was really fun to just sort of, you know, build a friendship that way off screen and stuff. And you know, her and I are like such different people, and just, you know, I guess you believe in astrology or something, like she's something over here in the sky and something over here in the sky, but we bounce off of each other in really great ways. So yeah, I mean, it was fantastic, and I love, you know, watching the evolution of the relationship, and then to see the way that that the fans have received it is like the most rewarding thing, you know, you could possibly ask for as an actor. So yeah, it was great.
Hey guys, my name is Megan from Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Madison. Go Badgers.
I wanted to ask you guys what you like to do for fun outside of acting.
I admit.
I really appreciate that throw you gave me. Really well done.
You go first.
I mean, obviously sports, that's what I like to do. I still play soccer and basketball and stuff like that. You know, art. I mean, something I do, it's become a passion. It's the first thing that comes to mind, but it's become a passion. I started a crowdfunding platform called Tiltify a few years ago that probably none of you know about. But we do a lot of stuff on Twitch and raise a bunch. It's basically the first crowdfunding platform that raises money for charity through live streaming. So we raised $1.5 million for charity last year. We're going to raise about $5 million for charity this year. And we do concerts and like worked with like people like Andy Grammer and Catherine McPhee and Rachel Platten, and We did something called Game for Paul with Vin Diesel and Tyrese to raise money for Paul Walker's charity. So that's honestly become something that I spend a lot of my time doing. Is, you know, Andy Grammer helped us build 3 schools in Senegal, and one of them just got completed last month. So kids in Senegal are now going to school for the first time, and that's something.
I'm not even going to try to follow that act. I'm studying to be a pediatric surgeon. You know, the outside of acting, the directing has been the hobby and the passion, and the starting to become a profession. That's really got me excited and stimulated, and yeah. So that's really what I'm sort of throwing myself into outside of acting. So it's not for charity, but it's no fun.
My name's Brooke and I'm from Tennessee.
Oh, my parents got married in Tennessee.
Looking at me, how old do you think I
Well, I'm not answering that question. You're really far away, Beer. I can't see.
am? My question is for you both. Who was your most favorite castmate to work with on the show?
Can I have you leave my outgoing voice message? That was just really amazing. It's a great accent. I can't remember your question. Genuinely.
Your favorite castmate to work with?
Who was your favorite castmate to work with on the show?
Oh, okay. That's a really tough question. That's really tough because, like, I mean, you
You're
got.
gonna make him cry if you don't say it.
Yeah, that's cool. I know I'm not the one.
In all honesty, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you and I would probably have the same ones in a way. Like, I remember, I mean, Barry Corbin was just like.
Oh man.
Barry Corbin was the coolest dude to work with, and like, I just like to work with somebody with that much experience and that much knowledge, but also with the most incredible wit. You know, it's like you're always learning from him, but you're always laughing with him as well. And then you know, when they say action, to just watch what he's doing. The guy's a legend, man.
And like he grew up on Broadway. I mean, if you've never seen Urban Cowboy, like please watch that movie. It's one of the best movies. And like guys like that and Moira Kelly, you know, like I'm watching The West Wing now that I never had really watched. And we were blessed to have. There was all of us kind of still learning what we were doing, and then we had this infrastructure of these amazingly talented actors like
Craig Sheffer, you know, who had this stellar career.
River Runs Through It.
Came to our show. We had great examples being set for us.
Really.
And so that I think, you know, cast wise, you know, looking back in retrospect, that was those were the coolest experiences to work with those actors.
Yeah, I definitely, my episode with Barbara Allen was memorable. Yeah, like she falls into like, you know, the good thing about what we got to do is anytime I worked with you it was just idiocracy. It was like whatever we were doing was just
all night off the camera.
Yeah.
Sure. And Barbara's another one that should definitely get mentioned as well, because she, like, that role is not an easy role to play. You know, like she had so much. I think she was the adult character who really had to walk that fine line between, you know, comedy and drama, and she played the comedic moments, and she completely committed to them, played them so well. But then she also, you know, she was like the heart of the Scott family. I feel like so.
And in some ways, the cast.
Just watching, you know, watching her in action as well. Like we were lucky, man.
And Paul, like the show would never have been the same show without like this alpha man.
I almost felt like Paul just goes without saying.
Yeah.
I've actually had that question before, and my answer every time is Paul Johansson, just because
he demands everything out of you as an actor when you're on set.
But yeah, so
everyone.
Yeah.
All right, we've got another question for you guys right over here to your right.
My name is Sehol, and I'm from Evansville, Indiana. My question for you is, what TV shows do you guys watch now? And if you guys find yourselves watching TV shows like Chicago PD, where you're
I mean, I watch a lot of like Netflix shows, and like, I mean, I'm watching Westworld right now, Stranger Things. That was a really good show. You know, like I more follow the music than the act, you know, than maybe what everybody's doing as an actor. Like I follow Gavin and Tyler and like follow a lot of their music, but yeah, that's all I'm thinking of right now. I'm sure there's other shows I'm watching that I can't think of.
Yeah, I try to catch an episode or two of network television just to see what's going on out there and see like, you know, an episode of Chicago PD or like all the Chicago. But I'm primarily focused right now on like what the streaming channels are doing. You know, like there's a couple comedies on Amazon. One is Catastrophe, the other one is called Fleabag, and these shows just blow my mind. And I feel like if those places like Amazon weren't around, these shows, they're so unique and so I don't know, they're kind of not for everyone, I guess, and they probably wouldn't have found a home if these streaming services didn't come around. So I really like seeing what's out there because it's just really sort of a gold mine of content right now. So yeah.
We got your next question here in the back.
Hi, I'm Jennifer from Chicago. I'm sorry I lost my voice yesterday. I wanted to know how alike or different you two are compared to your characters on the show.
I think like Dennis. I honestly, I probably can't deny that there's a very large part of my personality that's exactly like Dennis. I would get struck by lightning by saying anything else right now. I think, I remember, I forgot what exactly it said. There was like, when it said Tim in the first script in the pilot, I think it said something like, he was like a power forward and he was chiseled. I remember that was like the description. It was and it was like, this is not me. It's supposed to be like, I think he was supposed to be like a big kind of lumbering.
Yeah.
And he wasn't
power
comedic.
forward.
Yeah, he wasn't comedic. It was supposed to be like, because Nathan originally was like a bully, and he was supposed to be like the bully with him. And I don't know what I did, or, you know, I don't know what happened, but it eventually, they saw me in that role, and it became more and more and more comedic, and I have to believe that it's probably because of just the way I acted in everyday life, and so I guess I just brought myself to the role, so I'm probably pretty close to Tim.
And it's your own damn fault.
Yeah, did it to myself.
I don't know. I guess I'm pretty similar to Nathan in a lot of ways. In that I speak in a fairly monotone voice.
What are you talking about?
And also relatively emotionless. I don't know. I think in sort of in keeping with what Brett was saying, Mark did a really good job of sort of starting to write the roles so that they were a little sort of faithful to who we were as people in a weird way. So that they would continue working and would have continuity, and we would find it comfortable to play these roles. And so, you know, I do feel like playing the outright, you know, asshole was the furthest thing from you know who I actually am. You know, I have shades of that sometimes. I'm sure.
Every now and then.
I'm sure. No, but I think as the show kind of went on, you know, I almost like learned from Nathan. I almost like, you know, would see what they were writing for him and see the things that he was doing, and I almost would sort of aspire to be a little bit like him and sort of realize that this is, you know, they're writing this guy who's learning this set of values that I really agree with. So, you know, in a way, like I find myself looking back on the show and hoping that I'm like, you know, the Nathan that ended the show.
I think that's why your character though took that arc from being like in the first season he was such an asshole, and he slowly started to, find the better sides of his person, the better sides of himself. I feel like it was written that way, because it was
all Haley, man.
It was all she was the
I have your next question for you right now. Hi, my name is Kaylee from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. This question is for both of you. You both mentioned that you like to play basketball, so who do you think would win one-on-one?
James.
I don't know, man.
He can touch a rim. I like watching, he's jumping. Look how high he is.
I don't know, man. You play basketball regularly, though, and I'm not even really feeling like that humble of a mood right now. But I haven't played in a long, long time, so I have a feeling Brett's got the edge.
Oh, you're so in shape.
I'm wearing my jacket and a ball. I have no idea what's underneath there. I have no idea. I brought something on myself that we should just.
Yes.
Alrighty, let's see. We have a last question. Let's see. We have a very important last question. You look to your right here.
Hi, this question is for Brett. I was just curious if you have a girlfriend.
What? Yeah, that's her.
Wait, you have a girlfriend? He's been telling people he doesn't have a girlfriend all weekend.
Well, you know, Brett, I'm a good wingman, and we don't normally say to do this, but man, could you please come to the stage?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Guys, give them a big round of applause. Look at these two. Aren't they adorable?
Sorry. It's a surprise.
As a matter of fact.
So, I have room on my couch too. Did you guys have a good time?
Yeah. Had a good time.
Did you guys have a good time? Are you surprised?
I'm very surprised. That's really cool. I talked to you like 30 minutes ago. You lied.
You never know what'll happen at an icon convention. Alright? Well,
Before we go, I mean, it's worth saying, like, we really, really appreciate you guys. Like, it's awesome. Like, every time we get to come back, I mean, I never see James, even though we live like a few blocks away from each other. But like, it's literally. But it's like this line. He's like, really? You live like over? But it's awesome to see how much you guys love the show, and now that it's on Netflix, and there's like a new life to it, and the fact that you bring us all together, and we just love the fans, and we love the fact that you guys have really responded as much to the work, because there are a lot of actors out there doing work and investing so much into something, and it doesn't get this type of response. So to 9 years of this guy's life that he gave to this show, and the fact that you guys learn something from every episode and respond, it means a lot to us as well.
I'd like to say, I've heard a lot of you thank us for being here this weekend, and thank you for coming. And I think that we should really thank you for coming, because if you guys don't want to be here, there's no reason for us to be here, And we get to come to these amazing cities. We get to go back to Wilmington. We get to meet people that we never would have met from all over the country and all over the world, who share an appreciation for what we did. And it's incredibly special, and we just know that we know how rare it is, and we know how unique it is, and we appreciate it immensely. So.
And even though you say the show finished 4 years ago, like, you guys keep it alive. It feels like we keep it alive.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you again from all of us here at Icon. We love you guys. We always have such a good time when you're here. These guys, you guys are amazing. We love you guys, and let's just give them one more big round of applause.
Let's thank Icon as well for putting that great down.
Before you guys go, don't go through. Yeah, hold on. Everyone smile. We're gonna do our typical selfie here. So everybody,
Got one going?
smile.